Good day, gents, and welcome to another episode of Father's Fire. My name is Jody Sedrick, and every week we get together to explore the joys, the challenges, the triumphs, the sorrows, and yes, the fun of being a dad. And I tell you, this week has been a mix of triumph and fun. Earlier in the week, actually last week, I had the opportunity to go snowboarding with my son Zane, and I'm telling you, we just had a fantastic time. It was just me and him one-on-one, taking a nice drive up to Bogus Basin, visiting on the lift, just talking about his dreams, his visions of moving to California with his girlfriend, and his excitement, his concerns, trying to put it all together. And also, just having some one-on-one time, talking to him and visiting him. I told him a little bit about the new book that I'm working on. And so he's like, tell me about that, Dad. So we had some really good discussions about what's coming in my next book about faith and his insights and his perspective. And I'm telling you, we just had a great time. Watch the sunset go down over Bogus Basin, and the city was on fire, the sky was on fire, and it was absolutely beautiful. And most importantly, our hearts were on fire. And then this week, Judy and I had the opportunity to fly down to Salt Lake area and then go down to Orem to see to participate in a banquet for the UVU Wolverines women's volleyball team. End of year kind of recognition of the girls, a send off for the seniors, and also recognition of their wonderful season of winning the WAC and going to the NCAA tournament. And what was really cool about the whole thing was watching my daughter, Kaylani, just really thrive. You could see her leadership and her impact on the team, her excitement and the things that she was doing, and really see her not only tap into her dreams of getting to play D1 volleyball, but having such a critical role in the team, both on the court, on the sidelines, and behind the scenes. And just, interacting with these girls and being part of the team. And dude, it just, I actually got choked up watching her, and it was just an amazing experience to be able to be there with my wife and to celebrate her and the other girls' achievements this year. Guys, the true measure of the impact that you have as a dad is going to come many, many years later. Now all of my kids are, in their 20s, and they're, getting into their careers, getting into college, getting into relationships, and watching who they become as men and women is really, really exciting. It's really humbling. It's inspiring. And one of the great joys of being a father. This is Super Bowl weekend. So all of the family, we have a big tradition, like I'm sure a lot of you dads do, where we get together and celebrate our favorite team. I wouldn't say that I have a particular favorite team in this Super Bowl against the Rams and the Bengals, but it's always good to get together as a family and to cheer and root and have rivals with each other, friendly rivals, and eat lots of good food. In fact, right now I'm marinating my chicken wings, and then I'm going to air fry those for later today. But tomorrow is Valentine's Day, and on the 18th of this month is mine and Judy's 33rd wedding anniversary. So today I thought that we would spend a little bit of time talking about love and what it truly means to love the lady in your life, the significant other in your life. And so I wanted to spend some time talking about that. I have a very, very vivid memory as a young man. I was 15 or 16, and we were living in Pueblo, Colorado at the time, and we had just moved there. And at that time, we were renting a house, and I was attending East Pueblo High School. And we lived in this rental that was like a sieve. I mean, the windows leaked, everything. I mean, you just were sitting in a house and you were always chilled, and it was wintertime. And it was on a Sunday, and it was my mom and dad's 25th wedding anniversary weekend. And both me and my dad had been pretty chilled that day. And so we came home from church and we went and found a bedroom that had the sun streaming in through the window. And he and my dad laid down next to each other, basking in the warmth of the sun. But we were also basking in the warmth of just being together. And as we were laying there, we weren't really talking a whole lot. I mean, yeah, we were a little bit. Then all of a sudden, my dad got kind of quiet. And then he said, "Son, I've been married to your mom 25 years. And I can tell you that the way I loved your mom when we first got married 25 years ago was only puppy love compared to what it is today." And that just hit me. I mean, it just really made me think about how much my dad really loved my mom and how they had grown together as a couple. And that memory has become seared in my heart as one of those tender moments where a dad expresses his feelings for the woman of his dreams, the queen of his heart, my mom, but his queen. And it just really impacted me. And my dad was always very mindful of caring for my mom. But I'm telling you, there was one instant where it became extremely, extremely evident how much my dad loved my mom. This was many years later. In fact, I had already graduated from high school. We had moved to Arkansas. I was in the transition period of going from high school to potentially going on a mission for our church, or going to college. And it was in the fall, and Dad and I had been out cutting wood early in the morning. And we came in, and my dad was kind of chilled, and so we went and soaked in the bathtub. That bathroom was adjacent to our dining hall and our kitchen. And so I'm in there, Dad's soaking in the tub, and I'm in the dining room having some pancakes. And all of a sudden, my mom, who's in the kitchen, just collapses. I mean, she just crumpled like a rag doll and just crashed to the floor in a big heap. And I'm like, "Oh my God, Dad, mom's, fallen." And my dad jumped out of the bathtub, ran out of the bathroom into the dining room, into my mom, picked her up, and he is butt naked. Picks her up, dripping wet, carries her into the master bedroom. And then I began to watch him tenderly and lovingly care for my mom, trying to figure out what's going on. And I went and, watching this strength and tenderness and beauty with absolute no shame of how he was standing. And as I'm watching my dad butt naked take care of my mom, I realized how much he truly loved her. And to see that absolute beauty and tenderness and strength and kindness is one of those memories too that has also been seared in my mind. And I did, if you're wondering, I did go get him a towel, and he put it on eventually. But there was no shame. He said, "Son, right now your mom needs my attention." And I think that we as men need to develop that kind of love in every aspect, in every situation in our life. This week will be mine and Judy's 33rd wedding anniversary. It's hard to believe that it's been 33 years. She has been the center of my world. And I'm going to tell you, it hasn't always been easy. The second year of our marriage, we really struggled. We had some challenges that, I wasn't quite sure if we were going to get through it. But with determination, with love, with forgiveness, with bringing God into our relationship, that relationship has become everything to me. And And I think a lot of times we as men lose the pursuit of our woman. We lose the pursuit of our significant other. And what I mean by that is, think about when you first started dating your girl or your guy, whatever. Because I recognize there's a lot of men and that listen to this that are gay men who have adopted kids. So I want to talk to everybody, who loves and honors their significant other. And that may ruffle some feathers, and it's not intended. But I want to talk about loving people. Remember when that girl of your heart, of your eye, caught your eye the first time, and you go, that is the one. What did you do? I mean, if she lived 45 minutes away, an hour away, you would, if at the drop of a hat, if she called you on a Thursday night, and I'm not even talking about the weekend, a Tuesday or Thursday night, she called you up and said, hey, I want you to come spend some time with me. I only have an hour, but if you could come and drive and see me, I will spend some time with you. You would have gotten your car and you would have drove the 45 minutes to an hour, even 2 hours, to go see your girl for only an hour. And then you would have drove back. And now you're sitting in your couch. You're probably getting ready to watch the Super Bowl. And if your lady said, hey, I need you to come upstairs and help me, how many of you grumble before you even get up? How many in your heart, in your mind, the first thing, really? I'm just sitting here. I'm watching the pregame show. Come on. Why are you interrupting that? Or your kids walk in and go, hey, Dad, can I have a little bit of your time? And we reluctantly give that. So from the beginning of your relationship, when she first caught your eye and you were doing everything to prove that you were the man of her dreams, that you were Prince Charming, that you would solve all her problems, that you would run to her all the time, where in that process in the past couple of years did you lose that passion and drive to serve her that way? And a lot of times you men are struggling in your relationships. And the reason is because you've lost the pursuit of her heart. You've lost the pursuit of her mind and her spirit and her emotional strength. You have gotten complacent in what you do to build, to nurture that relationship into something that is continually beautiful. And I think a lot of times, we look at a relationship and we go, once it's conquered, it's done. But we go, even in our relationships, we go through seasons, right? You have a spring where it's fresh and beautiful and you're hunting her and you're enjoying the summer together and everything's, beautiful and hot and warm and, in your heart and on, in between the relationship, the physical relationship, the emotional relationship. And you start to harvest that in the fall. And then things start to wither. And there's a time of dormancy where we've allowed that relationship, the fire within ourselves to diminish. And maybe in your relationship, it is stone cold, like the ground outside. It's become frozen. You look at her and she gives you the cold shoulder and vice versa. But somewhere in that relationship, you still feel the embers of love that were started years ago. And all it takes is a little bit of stoking, a little bit of attention, a little bit of kindling to reignite that fire within you and within your relationship, to recapture that at one time was everything in your heart and somewhere you lost it. But that doesn't mean that it can't be rekindled. Just like an ember that pops out of a fire and you go over and kick it back in, it can reignite. It can recapture that heat and that flame, and it can become part of who you are and who you are in your relationship. So how do you recapture that? Because right now we're looking at Valentine's Day, and how many of you guys rolled your eyes? Oh, just another holiday to force me to go buy roses or buy a card. I'm doing it more because I'm hoping that, we'll have a great weekend instead of going, what can I do to touch her heart? And I've realized that a lot of us men have fallen into the trap of our relationship that it's like Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. We give the attention when it's a special day instead of every day. And every day should be a special day. And I'm not saying you have to buy roses every week, but dang, you should do it more than once a year or twice a year. I mean, when's the last time you surprised her with her favorite thing, whether it's daisies or roses or tulips or just a night away where you two went out and had Chili's or Taco Bell or whatever your favorite thing is? It doesn't have to be elaborate. When's the last time you said, hey, sweetheart, let's go take a walk in the park? Let's go take a walk around the neighborhood. Hey, what would you like to watch tonight? Yeah, maybe I'm not a big rom-com fan, but you know what? I'm a fan of you and I want the time with you. So I'm going to bask in the relationship that we have. And yeah, I'm going to chuckle at some of the silliness. Or maybe I'm actually going to be touched by some of the sentiment that is real, that's in her heart, that she's hoping that you'll tap into. So, guys, let me give you some things that I've done over the years, 33 years, that I've done to help keep our relationship alive. Number one, Judy and I have date night every week. Every week we have date night. And that included when times were really, really lean. I mean, there was a period in our time where, we were paycheck to paycheck, moment to moment, and we still had date night. And what we would do, we would go get the coin jar and we would dump it out and we would scrape pennies and see if we'd have enough to go buy some chocolate chips so that we could come home and make chocolate chip cookies and watch Netflix in our bedroom or Blockbuster back in the day. I mean, we got creative. Sometimes we would just go take a walk together late at night when the kids were tucked away. Making sure that we had that time dedicated to each other, getting some Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Sometimes it was just sitting up at the table and playing cards and having that time together on our date night. The other thing is that I do is I know my wife loves dark chocolate. So what do? Every once in a while, I go buy me a $3 bar of dark chocolates and I put it on her pillow. Now, some of you guys may not be the best at words of saying what's on your heart. And maybe when you were first dating, you were pretty good about writing little love notes or, doing something to express to your loved one how much she loves you and how much you love her and how much you appreciate her. So years ago, I bought this little pink journal that has little love notes that I give to Judy because what I recognize is that a lot of times we write a love note and what happens? It stays on the mirror, stays by her by her nightstand for a couple weeks, and then it gets shuffled away in the trash can. Or if your wife's a collector, she might have a box of them. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a book that she will have by her nightstand that at any time she can shift through the pages of the notes of my love for her. No, maybe she's a little down or not quite sure. Maybe she's second guessing herself. And to be able to go through and flip through the pages of my love notes to her, I hope that it touches her heart and it gives her a sense of not just a once a year Valentine's, twice a year Mother's Day, and maybe 3 times a year on her birthday. Something a little bit more regular of showing her how much I love her, both in time and dedication and expression of my thoughts and my feelings, and little gifts to make her feel loved. Guys, true love is built a moment at a time. True love is built a moment at a time. Some of those moments are beautiful and they're fiery and they're passionate. Other times, they're frustrating and you lose your cool and you say things that are not necessarily the best. And so those moments are moments of reflection, moments of saying I'm sorry, of humbling ourselves, of looking at ourselves in a way that is honest and authentic and sees those rough edges that we know in our heart that maybe our pride's been having us pushed down and set aside. But in those heated moments when we see the real ugly come out and we go, oh man, if I would have been working on the little things, those rough edges, my pride, my own fear, my doubt, my, my lack of investment in our relationship and not truly paying attention, this would not have bubbled up into this event. But on one hand, that's good because it makes us look at us in a way that we hadn't before. And on the other hand, it's like you don't want it to happen, right? Because you don't want to hurt her heart. You never want to be the man that hurts her heart, that lets her down. So, man, on this eve of eve of Valentine's Day, I give you a challenge in 2022 to do a little bit every week. Doesn't have to, I'm encouraging you to do it every day, but some of you guys need to just start off with a week. And that's just being real, right? But I want you in 2022, I want you to rekindle, I want you to reignite that passion, that fire within your heart for that lady that you saw so long ago. And you said, that is the girl of my dreams, and I'm going to become the man of her dreams. And that becoming is an everyday thing. And then you wake up 25 years later like my dad and go, wow, how I love my wife 25 years ago was only puppy love compared to how much I love her today. So guys, happy Valentine's, happy Super Bowl. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, a fantastic week with the lady, the love of your dreams, and that you make it exceptional for both of you. And what happens is when you make it exceptional for both of you, it ripples across every aspect of your family and every aspect of your life. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And we will check you same time, same bad channel, just next week with a whole lot of love right here on Father's Fire. See ya!